Inadvertently, it'll come in higher prices at some point.
The bulk of Ray Keenan's potatoes go to the U.S., and this week so did he.
We've taken to calling it the Trump tariff tax because at the end of the day, the end user pays for all of the input costs along the way for these products.
Baselessly claimed the jobs numbers were rigged. He accused the fired commissioner of inflating numbers for the Biden administration and sabotaging jobs for them.
We're doing so well. I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election. We need people that we can trust.
What if I told you your $3.50 fries now cost $5.25 because of potatoes? Yep, a potato tariff. One day, Washington wakes up and slaps a 35% tax on Canadian spuds with zero warning, leaving Americans paying luxury prices for their favorite side dish. But while Trump is busy fuming, Canada quietly signs a billion-dollar deal with Asia and moves on. So the big question isn't just about soggy fries, it's whether the U.S. just pushed its oldest trade partner into the arms of brand new ones. Want to know how this changes your dinner plate? Stick around. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Imagine walking into your local diner, the kind of place where you know the waitresses by name and the fries are always piled high. Only now that familiar side of fries isn't the cheap, easy choice anymore. It suddenly feels like you've ordered a premium steakhouse add-on. That plate on the counter looks the same, but your wallet feels lighter. Washington slapped a 35% tariff on Canadian potatoes out of nowhere, and overnight, what used to be comfort food at an easy price is now an eye-popping expense. Potatoes didn't change, but the politics behind them sure did. The numbers hit fast. A bag of potatoes that restaurants bought for $22 suddenly costs $30.
Talk of tariffs has created uncertainty.
There will be a reaction from the marketplace.
We've taken to calling it the Trump tariff tax because at the end of the day, the end user pays for all of the input costs along the way for these products. Interest there and our efforts there have put it more top of mind than it has been as we go into the U.S. inauguration.
That jump might not sound shocking when you say it out loud, but when you multiply it across hundreds of pounds per week, it knocks restaurants sideways. The price on the menu had to rise too. That basket of fries you used to grab for $3.50 now costs $5.25. That's not just inflation slowly creeping up, that's a cliff dive. Diners had to choose whether to charge customers more or cut corners to stay alive, and either way, people noticed. Take Wisconsin. A local diner owner was already struggling with razor-thin margins, and now the customers are mad. One man grumbled that the fries taste like wet cardboard because cheaper suppliers use frozen potatoes with less flavor. This wasn't just about paying more, it was paying more for something worse. People will spend money if the food's good, but spend more for soggy fries? That stings. That single comment summed up the frustration eating its way across the Midwest. On paper, the costs are brutal. A single 25-ton shipment of frozen fries racks up an extra $11,200 in new taxes before it even hits the border.
For some, growing and packing potatoes isn't just what they do, it's who they are.
Inadvertently, it'll come in higher prices at some point.
The bulk of Ray Keenan's potatoes go to the U.S., and this week so did he.
Because I think our numbers were wrong. Now that you've with the numbers for a long time, but today's...
Those on the trip say virtually everyone agreed they didn't want tariffs on Canada.
We've got shared values, we've got shared infrastructure.
Think about that from a restaurant's view. That extra fee doesn't just disappear, it gets shoved right onto the plate when a family orders their meal. Restaurants already ride thin lines between rent, staff, and supplier costs, so this tariff pushed them over. The money they had for keeping an extra worker or maintaining equipment drained into tariffs on potatoes instead. Chain restaurants like McDonald's or Wendy's, they can swallow the hit. Their nationwide networks and massive buying power let them shuffle costs around, maybe cut a deal with another producer and keep the fry baskets flowing. Smaller diners, They don't have a plan B. Some had to raise prices, some shrank the fry portions, and some were caught watering down the goods with whatever suppliers had left over. A $10 burger with limp fries doesn't feel like a treat. It feels like punishment.
And that's the shift here. Fries aren't the cheap, casual fun food anymore. Suddenly, ordering fries felt like buying a movie ticket. It wasn't just a side order, it was a decision you thought about. When food hits that point where folks pause and think before ordering, you know the market is broken.
More than half of the potatoes from PEI go to the U.S.
Very significant market, long-term relationships there.
They stress the long-standing link between Canada and the U.S. within agriculture and fishing.
We're doing so well. I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election. We need people that we can trust.
Along with a PEI delegation led by the Premier, with a message there's no need for tariffs.
That's when fries went from American ritual to borderline luxury. But while American customers complained about soft fries and missing dollars, Canada didn't waste energy throwing insults back. Instead of hurling potatoes across the border, Canadian exporters simply rerouted. They saw the tariffs, shrugged, and found open doors elsewhere. Rather than retaliate, they quietly shifted their supply lines to Asia. Billions of dollars in contracts opened up and Canada walked right in.
So here's the punchline. The United States ended up with higher prices, bitter customers, and fried potatoes that tasted like sponges. Canada kept calm, skipped the fight, and rerouted its entire potato pipeline to markets willing to pay happily. And that's where the story takes a bigger turn. Because while diners argued over soggy fries, Canadian leaders in sharp suits were cutting billion-dollar deals on the other side of the ocean.
Anything that would impact that is obviously of huge concern.
Baselessly claimed the jobs numbers were rigged. He accused the fired commissioner of inflating numbers for the Biden administration and sabotaging jobs for them.
Nearly 25% of all of PEI's GDP comes from its exports to the United States.
I hope
We want to see prosperity on both sides of the border.
Still, people are bracing.
We will get through this.
Trump wasn't just annoyed. He looked grumpy and red-faced, watching potatoes slip straight out of American hands. The U.S. thought a potato tariff would protect local farmers, but instead it left diners angry and customers broke. Prices jumped, fries got worse, and Canada just shrugged before walking away into billion-dollar Asian markets. The irony couldn't be louder. While Grumpy Trumpy throws tantrums over soggy fries, Canada is shaking hands on long-term deals overseas, calm as ever. It's like one side's playing food fight while the other is building a buffet. So be honest, was this tariff worth it? Or is Donnie Diapers just starting another messy brawl nobody actually wins?